All right, this one's going to be on Newsraft. It is a terminal text user interface RSS reader, and they said it's inspired by Newsboat. So most of the features are going to be like the same. However, there are some differences in here, and you might want to check this one out because it might be better suited for you than Newsboat. So first thing we're going to talk about is the hotkeys. Very similar. You have, what's that? Reload all. They do have this thing called, what's that? Tab, or in this case they call Explorer, and all the other stuff like, read or unread. Important, you can mark it as unimportant, next and stuff like that. So hotkeys wise, pretty simple. You show you the hotkeys here. HJKL to navigate, kind of like Vim, or you can use your arrow keys. It's up to you. All right. And they do have some other built-in stuff like opening a web browser, which we're not really going to do in here, but you could open it in your GUI web browser if you want, or you can set it up to like terminal web browser, up to you, however you want to do it. They do have copy-to-clipboard, which I'll explain that in a minute too. And as far as quit, you can use hit Q a couple of times, or you want to do a hard quit, and then you use capitalize Q, right? Anything else in here? Pretty much it for the hotkeys. Quit out of that. So this one, by default, they have a global. So you can have a global, and this will be all your feeds in here, right? And they sorted by what's that? The date, kind of like when you email, it's sorted by date, right? And as far as categories, very simple in here. This is how you set up, guys, for categories. Or they call this one sections. So all you gotta do is type in the @ sign and then whatever it is, and this will be your group, right? This will be your Linux subreddit group here, and then you just type in, paste in all your feeds under that. And the next thing, this is how you do the next group. Same thing. That's it. Whatever's in the @ sign, that's your group, and anything under that, that's your next feed, and so on and so forth. That's how you set it up. All right. Same with like a YouTube. Look at that. I just do @YouTube, and then whatever feeds you have in here, that'll be it. That's your that's your feeds, right? And that's how that works. Very simple. In Newsboat is very more complicated just to do that thing I just explained right there, right? In Newsboat, let me compare it to you here. There is no like grouping by default, as simple as that. You would actually have to use a query feed, right? Let's say, for example, this one. This is how you would do it. Query feed, Linux subreddit here, all right? And then as far as the feeds in the subreddit, you actually have to manually tag it as that group. So you have to use, Linux subreddit, right? And that's how it will show up in your query feeds. Now, these query feeds, it's not like it's how do I explain this here? It's not like it's built-in kind of thing. You actually have to use like they call it like a filter language or whatever it is. And it is powerful, but most of the time when people use query feeds on Newsboat, it's mainly for grouping features, right? It's not really using it for like filtering out like a keyword or something like that, right? But it is technically filtering out a keyword. In this case, we're using Linux subreddit here, and that's how I'll group it. But it's really annoying if you have like a big database and a lot of feeds. It has to like repopulate this query feeds on startup, and it takes like, I'm not kidding you guys, I had like a big database and it takes like 5 or 10 minutes just to load up all my query feeds, and that's just mainly I'm using it for grouping. I'm not really using it for any other things, but yeah, that's the only annoying thing about the query feeds on Newsboat, is that it takes forever to repopulate it. If you have a lot, now if you have like a couple of feeds, you're not gonna feel it, right? But if you have a lot of feeds, you're gonna feel it. In here, they don't have any of that stuff. You see how you group stuff in here? Just putting like all your feeds in here, right? Just doing the @ sign, and that's it. This is it. There's no like query feed stuff. It's built in, so I like that one. Very clean. As far as you know, the interface also, it is clean too. Look at this one. These are all my query feeds, or not query feeds. These are all my groups. All right. In here, these are all my groups. And then the bottom here, this one is like your individual feeds. It has to show up in here. I don't know why you can't like have it, you know, like not show up. I mean, you could hide it in here. Like if I want to hide this one, where's that on W3M? If I want to hide this one, but if you hide it, you can't really reload the feed, right? You can't really reload the feed, so it's kind of annoying to use, you know, the hiding stuff if you can't reload it simply, right? So that's the one thing I hate about like doing this one here. It shows up in here, the individual feeds. In here, in Newsraft, it's just clean. Look at that. I just have my categories. That's all I want to see when I start up this program. I don't want to see all these other garbage on here, all right? And that's mainly because they don't have a way to group the, you know, the similar you know, groups together, right? They don't have a feature like that. They do have query feeds, but that's like a separate thing, and it has to like repopulate it, and it's very slow, like I said. In here, that's not necessary. Now the query feeds is way more powerful because you can do like I think I showed you this in a video once, but you can do like, let's say for example you have a torrent feed, right? And in torrents they dump everything in there, like, you know, 4K, 1080p, 720p, you know, 480p, right? And you can use query feeds to filter it out, like 720p, only show me 720p only, or only show me like 1080p only. You can do stuff like that. Now, if you need that, then yeah, you will want to use Newsboat. But like I said, 99% of the time, most of the people using query feeds are just using it for groups like this, right? And in here, you don't even need that stuff. So that's why I think probably this one is superior, because you don't need to do any of that stuff, and it's much quicker when it loads up because you don't need any of that stuff for grouping. All right. And the interface cleaner, I just see my groups only. As far as the other stuff you can do, you can still use your external commands. You know how like in Newsboat they have like macros. In here you can do the same thing. So let me show you the fix for that here. So for example, if I wanted to do, was I opening an image, right, using our Fay image viewer. So for example, what is that? We didn't go to, let's go to, oh yeah, another thing I need to explain, the Explorer thing here, that when you hit tab, this one is actually very clean too. Looks like if I hit tab, right, this will go to like my global. Oh, what the hell? I exit out of that. So for example, I go to this Linux subreddit here, and I hit enter in there, and I hit tab. This will show you all my individual feeds of that group only, right? So if I go back, I go to the next one, let's say data hoarder, I hit tab. This will show me just, you know, the feeds within that group only. Really simple to navigate in here, right? I mean, you can do same thing similar in here with Newsboat. If you hit T, and this will be like your groups here, right? Similar, but over here is just way quicker. I can just go in here, hit tab, and I'm here already. The other one, you have to hit T, and then you have to go find that group, and then, you know, you find it. So as far as navigation wise, this one's like superior, you know, just using tab when you're already in that group, right? So that's another one. Now as far as like using like you know, if you want to open your image viewer or any other commands in here, like let's say I have like clipboards, right? You can open MPV and stuff like that. So I'll show you all of that in here. As far as like external commands or even like built-in actions. So for example, we're gonna go to, what is that one? Do you have that one? Oh, 1 second. Let me, I have that one here. Oh, we don't have the one. Let's put that in here. Now, if you want to add in like a new feed in here, you actually have to close out this program to load it up, because you see I just added that new subreddit, but it's not going to show up until you close off the program and then run it again here. All right. So now I hit tab. Now this one shows up with the Unix porn here, and in here I had it before, but I deleted it, so now it's back here. But in here, if you have like a bunch of links, so for example, this one here, this is our you know, the body contents of that one here. So you see how it has different links. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, there's no 5. There's only 4 here. So similar to what you can do in Newsboat, you can do it in Newsraft here, right? So if I want to open number 4 in my image viewer, I do 4i, and look at that, I open here, right? So anything you have in here, like, you know, the I, M or something like that, if it was a video, then I'll open it with MPV, but it's not a video, it's an image. If I want to copy the link to my clipboard, I use Y. So if I do like a 4Y, right, this will be my image here in my clipboard. If it was a video or something like that, do we have a video? I think we had a video. I saw it last time here. There you go. This one here, number 4, is a video. So I do 4M. And this one should open with MPV in a minute. So there you go. Look at that. All right. So there you go. That's how you would open stuff in here. Now, if this was a video, what was that one? Like on YouTube here. All right, I can do, let's say, for example, we'll do a couple in here. Let's do, we'll just hit M, hit another M, and what else is there? We'll do another one. Let's say, maybe a UFC fight or something like that. M. Right, so we queued up the 3 things. You can see if I hit T here. So we queued up 3 things. So one of them is running, aka this video. We queue up another one and another one. So if I exit out of this video, the next one will pop up, and you'll see it'll play the next video. All right, quit out of this one. Look at that. It'll run in, you know, the next video. So that's how I use Task Builder. I explained this with what was that, Newsboat before. So similar thing you can do, like I said. Hit Control C to get out of this. And if I want to clear it, I just use Shift and T, right? And now my my watch command is clear here. And so that's my commands for that, how I would set it up. So this one's for you know, MPV. If I want to use full screen, I use capital M. If I want to look at my watch command for Task Builder, I use T, and then capital T is to clear any finished jobs. That's how that works. As far as the copy to clipboard here, by default, this is the command that they have by default. So if you're using, what was that, the X11, Wayland, or I think even Mac, right? It'll use, depending what it is that your system's on, it's gonna auto detect if you're, you know, one of those. So if you're using X11, it's gonna use Xclip. Wayland is going to use WL copy, and then if you're using Mac, it'll be PB copy, right? And that's all it does. Now I wanted to make it work with tmux also, so I want to copy stuff to my tmux clipboard. So this is what it does here. It does it executes an external command. In this case, it's going to be tmux set buffer, and then the %L here, this one is just kind of like a, you know, what was that, in bash is like $1 or whatever it is, right? But in this case, it's gonna be the link, right? It's gonna be a link, and that's how, you know, I'll copy to my tmux clipboard or system clipboard in one go, right? And if you want to get more help in this, where was that one? So this one, they call these actions. Actions are basically built-in functions of Newsraft, and so you can see in the bottom here, where was that one? Right, copy to clipboard. It's already by default Y, but I wanted to add an extra one for tmux also, because they don't do that by default for tmux, so I actually had to add it in, and that's why I have that command there, you know, for this one here. Now if you want to chain more commands, pretty simple. You do a, you know, semicolon, and then you just do whatever other commands you want to do. You can chain it, but it's up to you, right? Anything else in there? So pretty much it. You know, if you want to do like easy way to access your feeds and your configs, this is how I do it here, right? Yeah, so in Newsboat you can use like Shift and E to access your, you know, your feeds really quick. But in here you still have to exit out of the program and then restart it, and then it'll apply any changes. So if you know, open these this file and you add something new, let's say for example I added like what do we got? Let's say I add Windows XP, right? It's not gonna show up. Let me show you an example. In here, if I hit here, there's no Windows XP, right? It's not gonna show up in here. But if I close it off, open it up again, I go in here, I hit the tab, now Windows XP shows up, right? And now you can see that I had this before, but this just shows up now, right? And so on and so forth. If I wanted to add in like Windows 98 or something like that, let's see here. All right, it's not gonna show up. You actually have to like start the program. So let's say for example we'll quit out of this, Shift and Q, start up again, and now we hit tab in here, and you see now this is Windows 98. We'll hit R on this to reload the files. Do we have that in there? Okay, Windows 98, right? So now look at that, we can just read Windows 98 stuff. Anyways, that's it for how you would do that. Oh, sometimes this one doesn't like reload the names, but if you exit out again and start up the program again, it should find the correct you know, title now, right? So now it says Windows 98, right? So that's it for you know, configs and feeds and stuff like that. If you add something new in, you still have to exit out of the program to load up again. I wish there's a way to fix that, or maybe they'll add that in the future where it'll be kind of like Newsboat. In Newsboat here, if you add a new feed, it's just automatically going to show up. You don't have to exit the program or any of that. So that's another what was it, feature that they should be working on, mainly just for the feeds. And that's how you add stuff in here. And what else is there I need to talk about? Oh yeah, if you want to use this with you know, if you have like your own personal RSS server, like was that Tiny RSS or Fresh RSS, in Newsboat you can use it with those stuff. In here they have none of those features, so you know, you're stuck with Newsboat if you want to do like a remote server kind of thing with those programs or those servers, those self-hosted servers you can do. In here they don't have any of those features. This one's just like a pure terminal stuff only, right? You can't use any of those web interface to remote connect and stuff like that. So that's another maybe positive or negative depending on, you know, your setup. Up to you, right? Anything else to talk about here? That's pretty much it. I mean, that's all you gotta do here. This is a very, very lightweight program, and I like it. I think I'm gonna start using this one if I'm using it for pure terminal experience only. But this one still has an advantage if you want to use it with like you know, Fresh RSS and stuff like that and remote connect. This one doesn't have any of those features, right? Anyways, that's it for Newsraft. Pretty simple. Oh, I think I need to explain you how to get some you know, default configs. So they do have default configs in here. When you install this program, just create a new folder, and this will be all your configs in here. And all you do is just copy the default configs and feeds. There's really nothing in the feeds, but they'll give you examples if you want to read those. But that's what you're doing here. Copy those stuff. And as far as your database, where it's saved to, it's actually saved into one of these folders, depending on what system you have or whatever. Usually it'll be in your local share Newsraft folder, right? And that's where your database will be at. Anything else I need to explain? No, that's pretty much it, right? Yeah, so that's it for this one, guys, if you want to do that. Now, as far as like all my configs, if you want to have all these other stuff that I add in here, like man page, or jump directly to the actions, I'll post this in the description, and you can use it the way I'm using it. If you have any good hotkeys, binding, or any different ideas, let me know. But most of these stuff, like I said, you can still do this in what was that, Newsboat, so it's not really that much difference or an advantage. They both can do similar stuff, right? Anyways, that's it for Newsraft. Go check it out if you're interested.